Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Boxed In with your host Colin Knowles, and I'm here today with the one and only bad boy fucking Beaman. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Glad to hear, glad to hear. So yeah, let's start off with something that's been circulating on Twitter in the last few hours. You know what I'm on about, don't you? Eric I can't even say, I can't,
Madster it is, yeah.
that's
Eric
the word, yeah.
Madster.
So yeah, how did that all come about, and did it just happen out of nowhere?
Yes and no. Basically, like obviously, a lot of people in the scene will know who the fan is. The fan's
Yeah,
been speaking with me quite a lot in the background. Potential opponents, left, right, and centre. And apparently, I think anyway, that he's actually been reaching out to other people about me as well. You know,
damn.
the fans, a friend of mine, and he wants to see me fight on Misfit. So I actually think he's reached out to Eric Madster's management team,
Yeah,
and I woke up this morning, just, rubbing my eyes, scroll through Instagram, and boom, there's a comment on one of my reels saying, this is obviously Eric Madster's manager saying, listen, we're down to fight. Eric Madster's gamers, whatever, let's get it going. So, I mean, I'm down. Like I've said straight away, I went out of my way straight away to dedicate a little bit of time this morning, to getting that image out on Twitter and as well on Instagram. So my fans and my followers and my community know that I'm down to fight this guy. And I mean, I've got a video going out on my boxing channel today when we're recording this. It's going out in about an hour and a half where I react to some of his fight footage. And I'll be honest with you, like this guy can fight. This wouldn't be like a regular influencer boxing
yeah.
fight. This would be a brawl. This guy can bang and he's knocking opponents out in the bare knuckle scene. His next fight on BKB is for the heavyweight title. So like
Oh,
that's where
shit.
he's at. And like I'm sat here saying I will fight him no matter what. So Mams Taylor, Misfits, sign it up. I'm down. He's down. Get it going.
I knew you would say that. I know what you're like. You literally, you don't care who comes at you. You're ready for that brawl. You're ready there and then. You're just waiting for them to sign a contract.
Yeah, that's it, mate. I love to fight. It's in my blood, it's in my mindset. And win, lose or draw, it's about, getting in there and enjoying yourself. I enjoy getting punched as much as I enjoy punching people. So it doesn't matter either way for me.
Literally. So yeah, as we're speaking about you, I just wanted to get to know a bit more about you. Like, how did this whole YouTube thing start for you? Like, from before Bad Boy Beaman?
Well, I mean, Badboy Beaman's been a name of mine for many years, bit of a reputation, so to speak. But YouTube, like you mean like everything I do on YouTube? Like, how did I become a YouTuber?
Yeah,
Like,
everything about you, literally, from
okay,
YouTube.
so um, like I'll be honest with you, like I used to, like many years ago, YouTube. I was there when YouTube started. Yeah, like
So 2009,
I
it
was there
is.
when I was there when it started, right? And me and a couple of my friends used to do stupid videos and stuff back when we didn't realize that it could be actually done for a business. That we were uploading videos back then. You could just put a title that was so clickbait that it would go viral, but we didn't
Yeah,
realize what we were doing. I had a couple of videos that done millions of views and didn't really understand it. So like that was like a bit of fun, right? Moving
yeah.
on from that, years had passed by. I'd grown up, I'd done multiple jobs, had multiple businesses, and then one day, my last business that I actually owned was a car garage, mechanic garage, and unfortunately, I used to strip cars for parts and sell the parts
Yeah, yeah,
online,
yeah.
ship them abroad and stuff like that, and I got scammed. I got scammed heavily to the point where like it literally shut down my business. I couldn't carry
Yeah.
on working, and it put me in a bit of a hole. Not depression as such, because I'm quite, tough-minded, but it put me in a bit of a hole. I was out of work, and I just decided, you know what? I'm gonna start uploading YouTube videos. I've always been an avid Call of Duty Zombies fan.
Yeah.
And I started uploading, like I was so good at zombies. I was dropping world records. I was, top 100 on leaderboards. I was up there. But I didn't realize that this like could be a thing. I was just uploading like tutorial videos, how to do Easter eggs, how to do this, what glitches can be used in Call of Duty Zombies. Nothing really came of it. And then one day, right, my brother says, "Hey, why don't you live stream this?" I was like, "What's that?" Like, I didn't know what it was. He's like, "So there's a platform called Twitch." He said, "You can live stream and people will watch you play the game live." I was like, why would people want to watch me play a game? Like, this is all like genuine conversation. Like, why would people? He said, just try it out. So I did. I done it on Twitch for a little bit, and I had like 6 or 7 concurrent viewers. I was made up. I was like, 6 or 7 people want to watch me play the game. But then as time went on, I decided to go over to Facebook gaming, and
Yeah,
things had changed a little bit. I stopped playing Call of Duty Zombies because Battle Royale came out, Call of Duty Blackout. I was like, okay, this is kind of addictive. Like, I want to play this. I wasn't really great at it. That was my first ever Battle Royale. I never used to play multiplayer, so learning the gun game and time to kill and things like that's what the whole of Blackout was for me.
yeah,
Um, I started gaining a lot of traction on Facebook gaming to the point where I like when Warzone came out, Warzone 1 in Verdansk, like I was doing like 150 to 200 concurrent viewers. I was doing well on Facebook. I was earning a regular income, better than minimum wage in this country, and I was made up. Like it just sort of fell on my lap.
yeah,
From that Twitch conversation I had with my brother to actually doing 150 to 200 concurrent viewers on Facebook, it was only about 6 to 8 months. Like, that's how long it took me.
oh,
Obviously,
shit.
people found
Wow.
me entertaining. Um, but the guy I was actually teamed up with, playing with, and we were entering into tournaments and stuff like that on
Yeah,
Warzone, I found out that he was cheating.
oh,
And
shit.
like he was doing other things in the background, like personal stuff, like going behind my back and like stealing my community. But I mean, again, it's up to
Yeah,
them who they want to watch. The main issue I had with it was the fact that he was using cheats. The fact is, I'd
100%.
entered tournaments with this guy, and we'd won some tournaments, earning money, real money, and
Yeah,
he cheating in them tournaments. So I put a post out on the day I found out he was cheating, saying I'm no longer streaming, blah blah blah, and I moved away from it. I went and spent about 3 to 4 months dedicating my time to learning how the cheats work. I downloaded multiple different cheat providers and tested them myself, which is all in videos on my YouTube channel where I've explained how I have the knowledge I have of cheats. And because it was all because of this one guy. My main focus was I'm going to learn how the cheats work and fully expose him. I only had the intentions of exposing this one guy because he'd
yeah,
fucked me over. So I done all this research and everything, and then I had a couple of people reaching out to me saying, "Have you seen this clip of this streamer and this clip of this streamer?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, he's not the only one cheating. So I started doing a couple of videos, building up a little bit of a following, so that when it came to me making the video about the guy who fucked me over,
yeah.
it ruined him. That was my main plan. So I got to my YouTube channel already was on about 1,500 subscribers, 1,500. But I'd put about 4 or 5, maybe 6 videos out at this point, and I was on 5,000 subscribers. I'm thinking
Wow.
this is going well. And
Yeah,
people were reaching out to me on a daily basis and saying, "Check this guy out. He's cheating. Watch this aim snap," and so on. Um, once I hit like 5,000, I was like, "This is the point where I'm going to expose this guy." By the way, the guy's name was It's Millsy. I don't care. Like, that's who it was. He now goes by the name of Chippy. He's still on Facebook and Twitch trying to earn money, and he's still up to no good cheating. Um, but I made
surprised.
that video, and he went from like 100 concurrent viewers down to 3. Yeah, I
Oh,
ruined him, and I
shit.
was made up. So I was like,
Damn.
that job done, job done. I've done it, right. But I had that many people DMing me on Twitter, on Facebook, and I thought, I may as well carry on doing it. I've got the knowledge. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the cheats. So why not? And it got to the point where streamer fans. So like, one of the main guys I've gone after is called Z-Laner.
Yeah.
And one of his biggest, largest donators actually sent me footage and said, "I've been donating X amount of money to this guy for so
Oh,
long, and I
shit.
think he's cheating." So I looked into him, and he was. So I started making videos. But listen, my channel blew up. I went from like 5,000 subscribers to like 30,000 in a
Oh,
month.
damn.
And then from
Good
there it just
night.
kept flowing, yeah. So like it wasn't something I was like, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. I can't wait to be a YouTuber. It all just sort of happened. Like, but that was the story. That's the process of everything that happened in the build up to me actually becoming a content creator and ending up in this position now.
That's crazy. That is. That's a nice little story as well, because I don't think like not many people ask these sort of questions that they get a proper in-depth dive into these creators and just anyone. You know what I mean? So I feel like I want to do it different and just get to know the person more, so that people can get to know the person more.
Yeah, I respect that, man. Yeah, I do agree that a lot of these interviews are, who do you want to fight? How long have you been fighting? Fight this, fight that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love talking about fighting as well, but
But it
it's
gets
nice of
boring.
you to actually ask who I am and how I
I
ended
mean,
up in this position as well, man.
it really gets like it gives the people like more of just something to go off with you because they can relate to you. Like you know what I mean? You could have had friends like, for example, your friend who was at the time doing the tournaments with you ends up being like the somebody don't like. I just everything about that is crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the whole situation was wild, and to find myself in this position now, like, listen, I've got overall about 250, 260,000 followers across all my socials.
Like,
But like for me to be in this position now, like it's not something I wanted, it's not something I thought about. But if you look at my followers, like
yeah,
that's like 1% of the Call of Duty community. Yeah. The other 99% hate me guts. They think I'm lying. They think I'm just trying to gain clout and stuff like that. It's never been the thing at all. And if ever Call of Duty release an anti-cheat that works to the point where there's no more cheaters, happy days. That's mission accomplished. And everyone's
never
like,
gonna
"Oh, but you'll be out of a job." And I'm like, "No, I won't." Because I've got Triple B Gaming News, which has got 23,000 subscribers and earns just as much money as my main channel. You know what I mean? So people talking about me being out of work, they don't understand that I'm making investments in the background and stuff as well. Like thinking about some planning for the future. Like I'm not daft. But Misfits boxing, I mean, listen, I'd love for that to be a big part of my future as well.
I can not gonna lie, I can see it happening.
There's another
Like,
guy as well who recently said that he would fight me. I don't know whether you saw
what's Keith?
this. Who?
Keith, is it?
I mean, Keith, yes. Keith has said he'll fight me. That's a fight that could potentially happen in the future. I don't know whether or not he's got, a large enough following. I don't know how Misfits work because we've just seen Most Wanted go on, and he's just like a Twitter personality. So I think maybe Keith does have a shot, and if that fight gets, presented to me by Mams or Misfits, yeah, I'll fight him.
It'll
But
be a fun fight to see.
it would be a good fight. He looks the part. I'll say that he looks the part. I haven't actually, been and watched. I think I watched a little bit or a clip of his last fight. I've seen some of his training footage. He can move a bit. But the guy I was talking about was Greg Hardy, the former
Oh yeah, yeah. I
UFC
think
fighter.
you mentioned this
And
the other day. He called you when you was putting like your hit list sort of thing.
that's what it was. It was a
He
hit list.
replied.
You're all getting it, every single one of you.
He literally replied. So basically, he fell into your hands again.
Exactly. So I mean, like, I'll take that fight, no problem. UFC fighter. He's overweight. He's sloppy. From what I've heard, he slaps his missus about. So let's see if he can slap me about like he did his wife. Yeah.
Oh no, that's the one. That's the one to do in it. Like you've got to call these people out for what they do. Like it's disgusting. I don't know how people can think in their right mind. Why would you hit a woman? You know what I mean? It's just
Exactly. I mean, listen, the way the media works, it could be spinning narratives in any way, but like from what we've seen and what we've heard over the years, like, this guy's been a cheater in the sport by taking inhalers midway through rounds and stuff like that, as well as if I'm correct, he actually got banned or suspended from football in America as well. So,
oh damn.
it just seems to be his whole personality. Let's see if he can get in the ring against me. Big Greg Hardy, former UFC fighter, against YouTuber Badboy Beaman, and see how he gets on. I reckon I'd do him in 2 rounds. Out cold, no problem.
Trust me. Mate, that is a good. That is. I'd say after for your first fight, would be a fucking amazing fight because
Listen, you got to remember,
you get
people forget the fact that my first fight was in head guards and 16-ounce gloves, and I knocked the lad out cold.
which is with head guards and
Yeah.
6 gloves.
What am I
There's
going
no
to do
head
in
guard.
10-ounce gloves, lad?
So yeah, it'll be more of a knuckle on him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. no head guard, and 10-ounce gloves, people are going to get severely hurt, and I can't wait to do it. But like say, I'm in talks with loads of different people at the moment. Management teams are talking to management teams, and there's a couple of potential fights lined up. The one that was meant to be happening, which has sort of gone a little bit quiet at the minute, was against Gary Olive, who is Tempo Arts coach.
Yeah, I know you two have quite a bit of a clash together.
Yeah, well, there was a genuine clash. It got. I called out Tempo Arts, the heavyweight champion. Why not? I'll fight you.
Yeah,
And he's like, I'm not fighting you.
I remember that tweet as well.
He's going, you've had loads of fights. I'm not fighting you. Like, I'm thinking, like, listen. He said actually that I've had loads of amateur fights. I've never ever in my life boxed amateur. I had a couple of white collars over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And, look at me now. I'm an old man. I'm an old man who's got a bad back and a sore shoulder, and everything hurts, man. And people are using my history of white collar boxing, unlicensed boxing, to say, oh, you're too experienced. Tempo Arts heavyweight champion ducked me. And then I've put that out publicly, and Gary Olive, Tempo Arts coach, is like, well, I'll fight you, blah, blah, blah. So I started having that back and forth with him, which you see a lot of these,
yeah,
influencers doing. They have them back and forths, but it's all entertainment purpose, you know what I mean? Some of it's real, but it's still, at the end of the day, there's a sort of fine line that you don't
yeah.
cross. And then Gary Olive must have thought, fuck this bastard, gets his phone out and sends me a voice note saying, if I ever see you, or if you can come to me gym for sparring, but you won't make it in the gym, I'll cave your fucking skull in. So he said. So for me, that's
Sorry.
genuine fight talk. That's on-site talk. That's street fight. Let's fucking have it. I'm gonna come and punch your head in, and like, he had to be quieting down a little bit. I went into a Twitter space, and we had a sort of, it was like a conversation that was sort of calm. And I was just like, listen, Gary, there was a misunderstanding somewhere along the way causing you to make that threat. That's a threat outside the ring. That isn't boxing. We're talking about boxing here. This is a sport. You've
Yeah,
misunderstood something and overreacted. And from that point, we ended up being sort of civil. Okay, everything was fine. But the fight was like sort of
still
gaining
there.
traction. People were talking about it. I'll just say, I've spoke to Miles Taylor about that fight as well. My manager spoke to Miles Taylor about that fight, and it's sort of still a potential fight that could be happening. But I'm just trying to line as many people up as I possibly can. So if one pulls out, I've got other options, or I've at
Yeah,
least got like sort of, a path of destruction before I can say tempo. It's that,
you've got a bunch of pins lined up. We just need to bowl them down.
yeah, get a strike, mate. Knock them all out at once.
Sounds like all right. So yeah, speaking of fights and stuff, with the SCB 002 back with when what's it back in May. How did what's it what was I gonna say? What was it like on the come up and just being in your first sort of influencer based creator event? Like what was the feeling?
um, I can't really explain it. Like, it was all over the place to start with. Like,
Yeah,
the way it was dealt with was sort of. Don't get me wrong. I think the show looked professional compared to the first one. No offense, sorry,
all right.
but it was a step up, wasn't it? It was a very big step up. That they had the press conference with all the banners and stuff. But the way I felt towards that fight was more. It wasn't a fight I wanted. Like, they contacted me like, come on, please take a fight. It'd be good for the promotion. Get your name on there. It was a small creator boxing fight. At that time, I still had over 200,000 followers, and I'm like, well, what's in it for me? You know what I mean? What do I benefit from this? I said, I'm not looking to have like a big payout. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing money. So I could prep videos for the days that I was away. Fine. So I'm still earning money on them days. But the cost of travel, the cost of accommodation, the cost of paying my coaches to corner me on the night, and the cost of food and amenities while I was there, they said they would cover it. So I was fine. I was meant to be fighting a guy called Ruben Hobbs, who, by the way, right, I was thinking this guy could be a problem. He's 6'6". He's quite light, so he's going to be quite fast.
Flat on his feet and yeah.
Very, very athletic guy as well. Couple of weeks before the fight, he pulled out. He had medical issues, had to go to hospital for an operation and stuff like that. Fine. So then they replaced him with JST. And they were, I'll be honest, behind the scenes, it was sort of like, put on a good show. This guy's had a year's experience, he's more of a weight loss journey guy, but he said he's down to fight. He knows the score. That's what they said to me. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So then I've got no nerves whatsoever because I'm thinking this guy's basically been put in as cannon fodder, and I've got to sort of put on a show. So for the first, like people are saying, it took you 3 rounds to knock out a guy who's a novice, and I'm thinking actually I could have done him in the first round, but I got asked to sort of pitter patter and play the game, put on a good show. So I did. I put on a good show. First 2 rounds, I think I dropped him in the second round anyway. I gave
Yeah,
him a standing 8, which I wasn't really trying. I gave him a standing 8, and then I dropped him, hit him with the I think it was a right hook, right hook
and
to the body, and then he dropped to his knees, and I thought, fucking hell, he's gonna stay down here, but he didn't. He got back up, and then in the corner, my coach said to me like, right,
put on the
go
pressure.
go out and get him now. This is the round, and I just, I'll be honest, I turned to me corner team. I said to me coach, I think I might just have a break this round. And he was like, "You what?" I was like, joking. And then I went in and knocked him out, knocked JST clean out. And the the whole process for me, every fight ever, the nervous thing for me isn't the fight. It isn't the actual build up. It's walking from the changing rooms to the ring. That's the most nerve-wracking part of any fight because what if you trip over? And that's why when I was walking out, I'd done that sort of fake trip. And I had my brother on the phone after it saying, "Hey, did you trip over there?" I was like, "Nah, nah, 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 I never." But
Yeah, I think we all wondered like what happened.
yeah,
It was in the moment, so it was just like what the fuck?
yeah, it was like a sort of like just a little troll, but like again, I thought it could be a viral clip. People be like, "Badboy Beaman tripped on his way to the ring." But the whole process in the build up to it, I trained really hard. Like I wasn't taking anything like for granted, because it can only take one punch in the heavyweight division. So I still trained like a madman for that fight.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, a week before the fight, I ended up really ill, like to the point where I was like
you were
breathing
dead
like
bad.
Darth Vader. Um, so what we did on the Wednesday before the fight, my coach called one of the hardest lads in who were, one of the toughest sparring partners I had, and said like, "You're gonna do 4 rounds with him now, like it's a fight." And I couldn't breathe. My chest was hurting. I'd like sort
All
of
cramp.
cold sweats and stuff like that. I was really ill, and so I got in the ring and I beat him up. Like done 4 rounds with this guy, and I smashed him everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, Mikey, I'm sorry, but it happened. But yeah, I smashed him everywhere. And my coach Mickey said, "Yeah, you're ready." And I knew then that was the moment because I was a bit nervous because I was ill. Am I going to make it through the rounds? But at that moment, I knew, right, this is it. I've got it. No problem. The problem was I'd stripped a lot of weight. I got under 18 stone, so I was like 17 stone 10 or something. And then because I got ill, I ended up drinking a shitload of water and I ended up eating quite a lot of carbs to try and make myself feel better. And I got back up to like 19 stone.
Yeah,
So that was the devastating part for me. So I come in looking really fucking fat, to be honest, but still got the job done.
glad to hear it. What else? Let's get to know more about like what led because we know you've been in the scene for a while. What made you want to actually get into the influencer boxing side of it?
It's quite an
From more like the past boxing stuff you've done.
No, it's not even about the past boxing, really. It was a conversation I had with Nitro Luke DX, and we were talking about setting up our own influencer boxing promotion. And then, obviously, I saw a couple of things going on Twitter with the SCB scene, and I decided to reach out to Rich and say, "Listen, like I've got experience promoting boxing shows in the past. I used to run boxing shows for like 3.5 years, unlicensed white collar stuff, and they were quite successful. I earned quite a lot of money from them. So I said to Rich, if you ever need any advice about anything, just let me know." So I started the ball rolling with that. And then obviously Nitro Luke was a part of that as well. So we were having like Zoom meetings with them and stuff. And so I sort of got involved in the small creator scene, helping out. I started offering advice to the small creators about how to actually be creators and influencers. And how to create their own content outside of boxing. It was just it's just all over the place, like little bits here and
Yeah.
there, sort of come together. And now here I am in Twitter Spaces talking with Mams Taylor, Keemstar, the fan, and the likes of Anthony Taylor and Chase the Moore and Tempo Arts and stuff like that. Like these are the guys I'm sort of in the mix with now, and it just
Yeah.
sort of happened. But um, the main thing that actually got me thinking about the influence of boxing, actually, just so I give him a shout out, Ryan Forrest, sorry,
I know you're on about, yeah, because he was
yeah,
supposed to OJ back.
Gendic Commando, he used to go by on YouTube, and he does all like the sort of army based stuff and all the military stuff. And like he messaged me about it and said like he's going to be involved in it, and I was thinking, he's fucking right. I want to do that. And he said, yeah, like contact so and so and so and so, but like at the time, nothing really came of it. So it's about putting your presence in the mix and letting yourself be known, and that's exactly what I'm doing every day now. Like I've got a deadline, like a cut off point where I'm gonna stop, like putting
Yeah,
110% in, because if all this effort is for nothing, like what's the point?
yeah,
You know what I
true.
mean? So we've got fighters basically saying they'll fight me, so there's no reason for Misfits not to put these fights on.
Sounds about right. So yeah, is there anything that you want to say or let everyone know about it before we go?
Um, Not really. I'll just say Eric Madster, you're getting it, son. Greg Hardy, you can get it too. Gary Olive, I'll slap you everywhere. Who else? Chase them all. I'll put you a kip. Tempo Art and taking the belt off you. Every heavyweight, anywhere in the world, BKB, pro boxer, MMA, I don't care. You can get it.
That's right. You know it. Thanks for your time, bro. It's
No
been a
worries, man.
great everyone and getting to more about you because we didn't really speak much in Worthing.
Yeah.
It was all over the place at the time, so we didn't really have much time to speak. But yeah, it's been good to actually get an in-depth dive and just let people know who you are.
Well, I
And
appreciate you having me on, man. Much
thank you,
respect.
bro. Thanks for your time.